morning, friends. In the series of business data warehousing and data mining lectures, today we are going to cover the important topic online analytical processing OLAP. So, OLAP and OLTP are the two important concepts which are the base of the data warehousing and data mining. So, firstly, we have to process the data, analyze the data by the intelligent softwares and tools, and then the transaction has to be processed by that intelligent information. So I, Dr. Rohit Rastogi, Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at ABES Engineering College, Ghaziabad, welcome you all in the lecture series of data warehousing and data mining, and today we are going to cover the important aspect on OLAP, online analytical processing. So as we know well, as the basics in the previous lecture have been covered, that data warehouse is a digital storage system and it helps to harmonize the large amount of data. The information is used for the intelligent purposes in the businesses, for the reporting purposes, analysis, and this help to support the regulatory environment requirements. So companies use this information to make their strategies as well as their plans to launch the product in the market and to do the different business decision makings. Data warehouse stores current and historical data also at one place and gives us the important information to run the organization. Coming to the concept of OLAP, OLAP is the acronym of Online Analytical Processing. OLAP is classification of software technologies and helps for the analysis, managing the information and execution to get the deeper insight for the information. It helps to keep the data consistent, interactive, as well as the different kind of data views from the raw information so that the decision makers and the entrepreneurs can understand the client needs very clearly, easily, and exactly. So OLAP implement the multidimensional analysis of business information and support the capability for complex estimation. So once you are making the different projects at the real-time purposes, then the right estimation, the trend, the previous information to get the trend and sophisticated data modeling is required. So OLAP is the intelligent software which helps to do these particular requirements. Now, as per the diagram, you can easily see that how data is prepared through OLAP. So firstly, data is stored in different data sources. Data is coming from the data sources. There may be different type of sources and data may be of multimedia kind of information. It may be text data, it may be audio data, video data, or the image data. From all the sources, the data is stored in the data warehouse. And data warehouse is taking the help of data mart, which are the very high and distributed data centers all around the globe. Now, through the distributed processing, the data comes from the data mart to data warehouse, and then this is sent to the OLAP queue. So, online analytical processing queue is basically an intelligent software which supports the query handling tools and applications to make the application queries by the different users, and user can get their desired information. So it is a bidirectional process from OLAP queue and between the user, they can get their desired information. So as per the previous diagram, we explained that OLAP uses the database tables. They may be fact and dimension table we have seen in the earlier classes, which enables the multidimensional viewing, analysis, and query processing. OLAP technology also uses the management for the fast answer getting from the queries so that the user need not to wait for a long time for their queries. It also enables to analyze their company's historical data for the trends and the patterns. OLAP application and tools are those that are designed to task complex queries. So OLAP is also supporting the data warehousing. The need of OLAP is very much clear with the discussion that it is a key driver for the multidimensional nature of the data. These problems are characterized by retrieving a very large number of records that can reach gigabytes to terabytes. So, from that large amount of data, getting our desired information is a tough task, and it is made easier by the OLAP, online analytical processing. It uses the SQL queries, and SQL query has a limitation that it cannot represent the complex problems. So multiple several SQL statement has to be used to get the exact information and the intelligent information from the large amount of the data. So it may have to use multiple join operation, intermediate tables, sorting, aggregation, and other database management system commands to handle this query. But it is made easier by the OLAP to sort out these kind of problems. Second problem with the SQL is also that it has the inability to use mathematical models. So SQL is only working with the textual data and the tabular structure of the format. So if analyst creates these complex statements using SQL statement, there will be a large number of computation and huge memory is required. OLAP also solves this kind of problem. So we can see here as the OLAP cube that the three-dimensional data, where in the first dimension we can see the different countries or the geographical areas, and in the second dimension we can see the timeline, quarters of 3 months each in a year, and in the third dimension we can see the different products. So there is a complex correlation of the geographic area, timeline, and the product. So this is defined in form of blue, green, and yellow cubes. So multiple kind of queries are possible, like which kind of geographic area, in which particular year, what kind of product was used or sold out. So different decision making has to be done by the industry, and OLAP tool is much useful for this kind of decision making. So OLAP is actually a super powerful tool over the SQL because it has certain limitations of complex query handling and the lack of mathematical modeling. So OLAP can be used by the companies for the different purposes like finance and accounting, where it is used for the budgeting, activity-based costing, financial performance analysis, and financial modeling. OLAP is also used by the companies for sales and marketing purposes, where sales analysis and forecasting, market research analysis, promotion analysis, customer analysis, and market customer segmentation is done. In production also, production planning and defect analysis, OLAP is used. So for example, we can see that in the data warehouse system, OLAP system, the uses of the OLAP is that it can Spotify analyze songs by the user to come up with a personalized home page. So there is a Spotify kind of software which helps the user to make login and get the subscription of the software, and they can listen the song as per their need and as per their demand in their mood time and in their own private space. Netflix movie recommender system also gets the option by the customer and user, and it helps the user to get recommended the different movies as per their genre. So these are the different possible applications of the OLAP. Other version of the data warehouse is OLTP, which is online transaction processing. It provides a transaction-oriented application in a three-tier architecture and helps the companies and the decision makers in day-to-day transactions. So OLTP can be used in ATM centers as OLTP application. OLTP also can handle the asset properties, atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability, and it maintains the authentic security of the data. It also used for online banking, online airline ticket booking, and sending a text message, add a book to the shopping cart, and many other real-time applications. So here one can see the difference between the OLAP and the OLTP. So as per the definition, we can see the difference that it is the online analytical processing and OLTP is online transaction processing. In data source, you can see that OLAP consists the historical data where OLTP consists of operational data. In method used, it uses the data warehouse and it uses the DBMS. In application, it is used for analytics and decision making. It is used for the business task. In normalization, the tables are not normalized in OLAP, but in OLTP, the tables are normalized in different normal forms and popularly in third normal form. Also, with the other dimensions of the differences uses of the data, the OLAP is used in planning, problem solving, and decision making, but OLTP is used for the day-to-day fundamental operations by the companies. In task parameter, we can see that OLAP can be providing the multidimensional view of different tasks, and OLTP reveals a snapshot of present business tasks. In purpose, it serves the purpose to extract the information, and OLTP is used to insert, update, and delete of information, mainly the editing of the information in the database. As per the nature of the volume of the data, the OLAP is applicable on the large amount of data. It may be terabyte to petabyte, and in OLTP, it is applicable in the database management system, so relatively the data size is small and it is in MBs and GBs. Other dimensions of the difference are queries and updation and backup and recovery and processing time. So in terms of queries, the OLAP is relatively slow, OLTP is faster because it is working on the smaller amount of data. In update purpose, OLAP is not often updated, but OLTP, the data is updated frequently. In backup and recovery, the OLAP is needed to get backup time to time, but in OLTP, the backup and recovery is maintained rigorously because it is used in the ATM-like of applications where the consistent and continuous changes in the data happens. In processing time, the processing of complex queries can take a lengthy time, but OLTP is comparatively faster because of simple and straightforward queries. So there are other differences like type of users. The CEO, MD, and GM are using this OLAP for decision making, but OLTP is used by clerks and managers. In operations, the only read and rarely write operations happens, but in OLTP, both operation happens. In update, the scheduled batch operation data is refreshed on the regular basis, but it is done in the batches and mainly it is done in the immediate manner. In the nature of audience, the focus on the customer is there, but the focus in the market is there. In database design with the focus on the subject, design is focused on the application. Productivity improves the efficiency of the business, and in OLTP, it enhances the user's productivity. So these are the references where one can get more information on OLAP and OLTP. These are the both important engines for getting the efficient data handling and giving the power to the user for excellent data handling and getting the queries solved. So with this, we are sure that you like the lecture, and in future we will come with the other contents and topics on the same series. Till then, stay safe and stay blessed. Bye bye.